Hey YouTube, and today is a review day. And it's a kind of special review because it's a tobacco that I've really been enjoying. In fact, I enjoyed it a bit too much and had to stop smoking it. I would have run out of tobacco to have for this review. Now, what tobacco is this? Now, the tobacco I'm talking about today is by Solani, and it is Silver Flake number 660. Now, what can I say about this tobacco? Well, this contents of Virginias, a little bit of yellow but mainly reds, with a really nice Kentucky, and it is a good quality Kentucky. It's an unsweetened tobacco, and the sweetness that comes through feels kind of natural. In the future, let's have a look at the tobacco itself. Right, it's a flake tobacco, silver flake obviously, hence the name. It starts off as quite a loose flake, and it fell apart quite easily. But presentation wise, it was really a good looking tobacco. It still is good looking, but not really a flake anymore. There are still flake elements, but it's more of a broken flake now. There's good dark colours, you can see the reds, that little bit of yellow holding it together. Now when you first smell it, you get a gentle spice. It's not overwhelming, with touches of, I'd say, black pepper, with a very subtle hint in the background of licorice root. Not the sweet licorice, the actual sticks they make the licorice out of. It's very much in the background there. You get a beautiful sweetness. It feels like a natural sweetness. Now, it kind of reminds me of like a sort of bread. Well, not so much bread as more of a lightly toasted bread. Or a touch of graham cracker about it. You know, some sort of dry biscuit cracker. All in all, it's a very pleasant smelling tobacco. That gentle spice just brings it all through. I think that's from the Kentucky. And the red Virginia smell particularly nice. They're not overwhelming or too strong as some red Virginias can be. I like a strong red Virginia, but this has got a very nice balance to it. And I think the Kentucky acting with the red and yellows gives it a really nice softened balance. All in all, I'd say yeah, it presents well. I'm going to put this back in the tin. Now we shall relight. As always, I'm about halfway through. It could really do with a pipe cleaner, so let's give it a go, which is unusual. One tip I would say is to let it dry for a little bit. It's not too bad, but it does need a little drying. I should have given this about 5 minutes more, but I didn't think the bag would keep it that well, and surprisingly it did. I wouldn't keep it in there long term, but I was just going to smoke this quite quickly, as you can see. Now when I first got this, it was immediately appealing, which is always a good sign. I got that same feeling in a different way with a tobacco I really like All It Golden Slice when I first got it. Some tobaccos, they take a little while. You think, oh, it's okay, and then you smoke a few more bowls and you get to really like them. But this had an immediate appeal. Now you get a nice cream to the smoke, and it's got a nice mouthfeel. Now when you first lit this, I thought that spice would come through more first of all. But first of all, you've got the Virginias coming through. And they're not very grassy Virginias, they've got a nice mellow taste. I think that's been tempered somewhat by the Kentucky. But you've got you've got the start of the grassiness, but it didn't go to that sharper end. It just stayed on a nice, even, mellow keel. I'd say it was a medium strength tobacco. Now you've got some really nice flavours coming through, and as the bowl goes down, you start picking up that spice. It's a nice gentle spice that goes well with this blend. Then you picked up subtle hints of the grassiness, but it's very much in the background of this. You've got some of the softer tones of grass, but as I said, not the sharper ones. And as I smoked on, it became slightly more spicy. And as I'm smoking now, you're getting a nice level of spice, but it's not overwhelming. Now, as I got to the end, I noticed the spice tailed off a bit, and it became more unified. You got the sort of more of a mixture of the Virginias and the Kentucky again. Now this is a tobacco that we are doing between me, Martin PipeandMG, for our tobacco buddy scheme. Now Martin picked a tobacco, unfortunately it wasn't in stock, so I suggested we try this one to him, and he agreed, and I think it's been one of my better choices. Now we were looking for a replacement in our rotations for Orlick Brown Sliced. Now I don't think this is it though, but it will find a place in my rotation because I've enjoyed it so much. So we are still looking for that replacement for Brown Sliced. My best bet will be Peter Heinrich's Dark Strong, but whenever we've gone to order it, it's been out of stock. So we'll keep an eye out for the Peter Heinrich's Dark Strong, and if we do, me and Martin will both do a review of that. Now, would I recommend this tobacco? Well, yes I would. I'd highly recommend it. It is an excellent tobacco. Especially for you Virginia lovers who really like your Virginias. This one really stood out to me. No, I love a good Virginia, and this will definitely be put in my next order. Let's give it a quick tamp using my Nathan Campbell tamper. Now, as I said, I've been smoking this for a few days, and to get a good measure of it, I've tried it in a few different pipes. The pipes I tried it in this time are my corn cob. This is a Legend. They smoke quite well. I also tried it in my Tanganyika Meerschaum, which smoked it very well. And for a comparison, I also smoked it in a larger bowled pipe, briar pipe, and I smoked it in my giant chubby billiard, which also smoked it well. I've found that, well, I haven't found a pipe that it didn't smoke well in, which is a good sign as well. Then at the moment I'm smoking it in my Dunhill. Now when it came to beer choice, I struggled with this, because there are so many beer choices I can make. You could pick dark beers, light beers. There's a whole panoply of flavours that are available to you. It depends what you want to pick out in this tobacco. The spiciness of the Kentucky, the sweetness. And then I watched Jaimeolivagr's video where he visited the Sierra Nevada brewery in California, and I thought it was a brilliant choice. So I chose one of their beers because of it. I chose their pale ale. It's one of my favourite pale ales, and it will pick up some nice flavours. It's a particularly good pale ale. Serve it cold, really chilly, and on a nice hot day it will be very refreshing and go particularly well. Well, I wanted to pick something so light, so I chose something darker and stronger to pick out other aspects of the tobacco. And I have chosen a beer brewed in Greenwich in London, a very fine brewery called Meantime, and they make some superb beers. They make a particularly good stout, they make really nice ales, but I have chosen a porter. I have chosen Meantime's chocolate porter. Now this has got some really dark, strong flavours, and it's got, I'd say it wasn't like a chocolatey chocolate. I'd say it was more of a hints of cocoa with the chocolate coming through, and the malts in this are particularly good, and it's a very nice beer. So they're my two beer recommendations for this. If you could think of any other beers that you would recommend, put it in the box below. It's always good to share, and we can all learn and grow together. That's the whole point of these reviews. I've learnt from reviews, and hopefully some people will learn from me, and I'll learn from you. I shall relight and say, see ya.